Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to unlock the true potential of literally one of the greatest wealth-building tools available to Canadians. If you've been looking for a really simple, easy-to-understand breakdown of how to supercharge your financial future, well, you're in the exact right place. Okay, so what if the government gave you a totally legal way to completely avoid paying taxes on your investments? I know. It sounds way too good to be true, doesn't it? But this account actually exists, and it can save you thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime if you just know how to use it right. And the best part? It's not some shady loophole reserved for the ultra-wealthy. It is built right into the Canadian financial system. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. What a TFSA actually is, 2. Your contribution limits, 3. How it compares to the RRSP, 4. Avoiding common TFSA mistakes, and finally, 5. What happens when you die. Let's jump right in. Section 1. What is a TFSA, and why the name is actually a lie? Okay, we really need to redefine this tool right out of the gate, because the word savings in tax-free savings account, it's incredibly misleading. Honestly, calling it a savings account is the #1 reason people miss out on its true power. You should really think of it as a tax-free investing account. Picture it like a protective basket. Anything you put inside this basket is completely shielded from the Canada Revenue Agency. So it's not just a basic bank account where your cash just sits there earning pennies in interest. Inside this container, you can hold a whole bunch of different investments, and any growth that happens inside of it, it's all yours to keep, completely tax-free. Let's put some real numbers to this to show you exactly what I mean. Say you bought 100 shares of Shopify back in 2017. They were around $5.77 a share, and let's say it grew to $221 by the end of 2025. That is a profit of about $10,700. Now, if you did this in a standard taxable investing account, and let's assume you're in a 40% tax bracket, you'd owe the government roughly $4,300 in taxes on that profit. Ouch! But if you bought that exact same Shopify stock inside your TFSA container, you legally pay 0 taxes. You keep that entire extra $4,000 right in your own pocket.
So, you're probably wondering, what exactly can you put inside this magic basket? Pretty much whatever you want. If you've got a short-term goal, like maybe you're saving for down payment on a house in a year or two, you can hold super safe assets like cash, high-interest savings ETFs, or GICs. But if you're investing for the long haul, you can pack it full of growth engines, things like broad market index ETFs, mutual funds, individual stocks, and bonds, the whole shebang. The choice is totally up to you and how much risk you're comfortable with.
Moving on to Section 2, understanding your contribution limits, or exactly how big is your container. So the government doesn't just give you unlimited tax-free space. They set some strict boundaries. For the year 2026, the annual contribution limit for every eligible Canadian is exactly $7,000. To get this room, you just need 3 things: a valid social insurance number, you need to be a tax resident of Canada, and you need to be 18 or older. And the cool thing is, every single January 1st, the government just hands you this new room. Now, check out this massive number on the screen, $109,000. If you were 18 or older back in 2009, which is when the TFSA program originally launched, and you have literally never contributed a single dime to one, your cumulative lifetime room is exactly that, $109,000. And that's because any unused room from previous years just rolls over indefinitely. So if you haven't used it yet, don't worry, you haven't lost it. All right, Section 3. TFSA versus RRSP. Which registered container is actually better? People ask this all the time, right? Which one do I focus on first? Well, the RSSP gives you an immediate tax break upfront because it uses pre-tax dollars. But the TFSA, it is all about ultimate flexibility. With a TFSA, yes, you're putting in money you've already paid taxes on, but the incredible trade-off is that you can pull that money out completely tax-free at any time for literally any reason. The RSP is a lot more rigid. When you finally take money out of an RSSP, every single penny gets taxed as income. Plus, and financial experts always point this out, the RSP actually forces you to start taking taxable drawdowns when you turn 71. You have to convert it into an RRIF and withdraw a mandatory percentage every year, whether you need the cash or not. The TFSA has absolutely no age restrictions like that. Okay, Section 4, avoiding common TFSA mistakes. These are the 3 golden rules of the container. The TFSA is brilliant, but I've got to warn you, it's not totally foolproof. You have to follow these rules to avoid getting hit by CRA penalties. Rule number 1, Deposits shrink your available space immediately. Rule number 2, and honestly, this is the one that trips everybody up, withdrawals do add room back to your limit, but not until January 1st of the very next calendar year. So say you deposit $5,000 today, and then you take out $2,000 next month. You can't just throw that $2,000 back in this year unless you have extra unused room left over from past years. You literally have to wait until the new year resets. And rule number 3, overfilling your container equals a penalty. And that brings us to this dreaded number, 1%. The government charges a 1% penalty every single month on every single dollar you overcontribute. If you accidentally put in $500 too much, you're paying $5 every month until you take that extra money out. I know, $5 sounds small, but if you accidentally overcontribute by thousands, that penalty is going to quietly and aggressively eat away at your wealth. Always, always check your exact limit on the CRA's My Account portal before you make any big deposits.
Finally, Section 5. What happens when you die? Estate planning for your tax-free wealth.
This is a topic a lot of people just completely ignore, but it is absolutely vital for your family's financial security. What actually happens to this amazing tax-free container when you pass away? Well, according to estate planning experts, if you properly designate who gets your TFSA, the money bypasses your estate entirely. This is a massive deal. It means your heirs don't have to wait through that long, stressful probate process, and it saves a significant amount on provincial probate fees. But there is a huge difference in exactly how you name that person. So you basically have two main options here. Naming your spouse or common law partner as a successor holder is usually your best bet. Why? Because they step seamlessly into your shoes. The account literally just becomes theirs, it keeps growing tax-free, and it doesn't take up any of their own personal contribution room. Pretty sweet, right? On the flip side, if you name someone as a standard beneficiary, which could be anyone, like your kids or a sibling, the account is only tax-free up to whatever its value was on the exact date of your death. Any growth or income made after you pass away, while the whole estate is getting settled, gets taxed as ordinary income to that beneficiary. So as you can see, that can be a really costly difference if you aren't careful setting it up. So I'm going to leave you with this thought to ponder. This container is hands down the ultimate wealth building tool, but it only works if you actually use it. Knowing your exact limit by logging into your CRA My Account is step 1, but making the choice to actively invest those funds rather than just letting them sit and gather dust and cash is how you actually secure your financial future and beat inflation. So my question to you is, what is your very first tax-free investment going to be? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy tax-free investing.